Hello, I'm Craig.
Hi, I'm Oli.
And this is the Close of Play podcast. That was actually really good for the first one.
It almost sounded like we got someone to do that for us. Who was us?
We didn't actually need Fiverr, but yeah, welcome.
Enjoy this episode. Thanks for listening.
Like and subscribe.
Enjoy. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're live.
Here we go. Close of play. The beginning.
The beginning, yeah. A new podcast hosted by Craig and Oli.
That's us, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
So from here, what we want to do, I suppose, is almost talk about what we've been up to, get a few people on at the same time and share what they've been up to.
Yeah.
But also have that truthful insight into the amazing highs, but also the lows that no one talks about.
The amazing lows as well.
Amazing lows, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think that's what no one wants to talk about. So that's the interesting conversation.
No, I agree. I think I am someone of an ambassador of living in the corporate life and wanting to escape the red tape. But actually, yeah, it is an absolute roller coaster when you kind of go on your own. So yeah, let's dive into it.
Happy days. So I suppose we might as well, I think for me, I don't know about you, but you almost assume everyone knows who you are
Yeah.
and what you do. So we've almost got to strip that back, haven't we? So do you want to tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Yeah. I'll give a brief backstory. So I kind of started my life. I didn't go to university. I went straight into full-time working as an IT engineer, then progressed to a manager type role into project management. And then from there went into IT project manager role for a smaller company, but always kind of a corporate environment, lots of red tape, HR flags everywhere, payday on the dot. So yeah, just all of these like securities and niceties that you don't really see when you go self-employed, but that's kind of my background there.
What do you do? So out of everything you've done previously, what is Craig now? What's the company?
Yeah. I do quite a few bits, as you know. The main kind of crux now is the marketing side, which is Edison projects. We do full service digital agency work for local and kind of old international brands as well. I'm also a photographer and videographer. That was kind of me chasing my passion when I quit my 9 to 5, was going into that balls deep, and from there have been able to build up a clientele, which has allowed me to do the full digital agency experience.
Nice.
What about you?
So yeah, I'm quite varied as well. And how I got to where I is almost a funny story in itself, but we'll save that for another podcast. So I was in the military for 7 years. I was in the RAF. I was actually a chef, which is just fun in itself, considering what I do now. From there, I got headhunted by Waitrose. Essentially, all the catering got contracted out in the military. So I went from being a professional chef to being asked to be a dinner lady. So unfortunately, though, when you want to leave the military, you can go in, but then you got to do 12 months as you notice.
Okay.
Luckily, I got out early. Waitrose. I got headhunted by a company who were recruiting for Waitrose to launch a Japanese food truck in London.
Right.
And go to all the festivals. So that was my ticket out of there. So I had a crazy 3 months in London, driving around with a 22-foot Airstream trailer, which I'll never do again. And from there, kind of in the events, I started seeing all this creative design and build, and that kind of got me excited. I've always kind of messed around with like making stuff, but I'm not a qualified joiner as such. I'm just kind of the businessman behind Hollywood. So that's my company, and essentially we're just creative design and build. It's kind of that vast and different every day. We changed the titles. We're into like our 4th year now. So you start off thinking, oh, we want to do this, we want to target this. But actually, creative design and build is a lovely kind of umbrella almost.
Sure.
Not an umbrella company, but just we get asked to do so many different things. It's you don't want to be Hollywood, blah, 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 blah. And you have 20 different kind of services listed as part of your brand. So yeah, creative design and build is what we do, different every day. And that's kind of where we got to.
I feel I have the same, like, not crisis as such, but in photography and videography, it seems like it always felt so saturated going into it, which made me very nervous. But everyone's like, what do you niche in? I'm like, well, actually, I don't niche in anything. Like, if I know how to make something look good, which is that's what photography and videography is at the baseline. It's an art form, it's an aesthetic. So why can I not apply that to everything that I shoot? Obviously, I have personal favorites in what I shoot. But the reality is, no, I don't niche in anything. I do shoot weddings. I'm very popular within the wedding industry. I do shoot automotive. One of my biggest marketing clients is probably one of the top 3 dealerships in the country. You know, a renowned
But
dealership.
you're not a wedding photographer. You're not.
But on that day, I'm not a wedding photographer. You're right. No, because I think the unspoken bit behind that, and probably same for you as well, is a lot of it comes down to people. So as a photographer, kind of the bit that you can't really teach is the people element, and that makes you attractive to other customers. Which is why I don't niche down.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is almost, well, actually, the diverse of I just shouldn't use big words on this because I don't know how to speak at this time. But like being able to diversify, especially through COVID, like that's how we survived. Do you know what I mean? We were doing this stuff like working in people's houses, so much domestic work, and we don't really do domestic work. But it's like survive or die. Do you know what I mean? And because you've almost got that skill set, but ultimately that mindset, it almost makes you think, oh, we can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll work out labor, we'll work out materials, we'll get paid, and then we'll be back to zero, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I hate talking about COVID now. Not that I hate talking about it, but I feel like everyone's just done with it. But I am interested to know how businesses were impacted by it. Like for yourself, it sounds like you were able to go about your day to day. Yeah, it wasn't enjoyable.
No,
we survived. Do you know what I mean? And like everyone, I don't think it matters what business you do or what you're doing, you need to make money.
Yeah.
Whether you want to make money or not.
No, absolutely. At the forefront of what you do, you need to make sure bills are paid.
Yeah, and we didn't make any money, but we survived.
Yeah.
And then I think, and I'm the same, I hate talking about it, but then you look and like some companies, there's always the dodgy people out there who took all the finance and just liquidated everything. But then some companies didn't open and it's hard. Do you know what I mean? And they could have worked their life for that.
I almost see it as like conditioning. Because there is always something happening in the world, right?
Yeah.
And there is always something that's going to impact business, or always something that's going to, maybe you as the listener, that deters you from wanting to pursue your dream or expand on your business or do something. You're always going to be on the back foot, so to speak. But for me, COVID was the conditioning that actually I had a product or a service that people wanted to buy into. And if you can do it through COVID, you can do it at any time.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, just know there's always going to be something that is going to want to stop you from doing this, but just do it.
Yeah. I think because COVID was the whole COVID word, like it's got its own brand almost, like COVID's trademarked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Essentially because of what it was. But like, I don't know about you, but you speak to loads of people and people are just getting better after everyone's had this weird illness over Christmas, been run down or whatever. But because it hasn't got a name, everyone's just like, I'm ill. Do you know what I mean? And you weren't allowed to just be ill for 2 years.
It's so funny.
It is weird, isn't it?
I'm active in the gym and I speak to a lot of people in passing and they're all going, oh yeah, I think I'm going to have the COVID. Like no one wants to admit to doing it or having it. But I just think, everyone's done with that scenario. Even when you watch TV now, and I don't like to watch the news myself, not to say I'm naive to what's going on in the world, but if it doesn't impact me directly, then should I be consuming it, you know?
Yeah. I think the news is a dangerous place, isn't it, really? Because it's very influenced. As kind of, whether you care about what's on the news or not, I think if it's on the news, someone wants it to be on the news. Do you know what I mean? It's a funny thing for you. So COVID's done, yeah?
Yeah.
Even like, who was the strictest place? I think Spain maybe were like proper strict on travel restrictions. So my mum went to Greece for New Year. No restrictions, no. It's all been dropped. But then they went to get on like a bus, like a local bus, and they had to get a mask.
Okay.
But then I think like, have people just been doing it that long?
Yeah.
They feel like, oh, you've got to wear a mask. I mean, has no one told that bus driver that, COVID's gone? Do you know what I mean? But anyway.
Some remote village.
Yeah.
They didn't get the memo. Yeah. COVID's been lifted. You can...
I blow the bus driver. He's like, well, I'm selling masks for £5.
I know. That's been his side earner. That's his little hustle.
100%. Anyway, let's nip that in the bud, I think, because we don't want to be the podcast.
The COVID podcast.
The COVID podcast.
No, this is the close of play.
Exactly. That's what it is. So kind of that's a bit about us. I think the next kind of next section, I think, what have we been up to? Like, should we do like the last week, a recap? Almost like, what have you been up to? What's gone well? What's not gone well?
Yeah.
What have you wanted to achieve, which you maybe haven't been able to do?
I think that'd be a good one, like New Year goals. I've had a lot of people ask me like New Year goals because in all honesty, in the last week, I've done a lot of admin. I've done a lot of chasing of invoices because it's coming, at the time of recording this, we're just after Christmas and everyone's kind of phasing back at their own pace. And some customers are back to it as soon as we land on the Monday, and then other customers
you can't get hold of them. I think, what's hard for us? I don't know, same for you. So obviously we've got clients, obviously we're based in South Wales, but we cover the whole of the UK. Yeah. And I know you're even further than that with your international clients, but in England with the schools, so they had a week off before Christmas. So they were all back like 2nd of Jan. And then my kids have just gone back today.
Yeah, same.
Do you know what I mean? So like
this morning.
everyone's kind of had in Wales with almost like a week later starting the year.
Yeah.
Whereas me and you were in work last week.
Yeah.
But could we get everything done we wanted to?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But I feel like,
And I lost today.
I think people don't realise that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Funny one, isn't it? If you don't have kids though, why would you almost?
No,
go,
you just lose time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a few people ask me, because I'm a bit of a voice in the gym, and everyone comes and they say, what's your goal for this year? And I get it every year, right? And I see people put so much pressure on themselves to set these goals every year.
You almost can't start the year without like, oh, I'm going to get a calendar, I'm going to write down this.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Go to Tesco, get the new diary.
Yeah, gym's the first one, isn't it? Everyone's like, I'm going to get back to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sat here being like, I'm going to the gym today. I haven't been for 3 months.
I just think if something is bothering you that badly that you are just like counting down the days for the new year so you can like wash away all of the days that have just gone by, like just start it today.
Yeah.
Or just do it tomorrow.
Do you know what's mad? I've never been like a New Year guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or this new year, new me. I just don't get it. I just can't get my head around it.
I think it was very overrated and it always has been.
I think it's just like
what does that day mean? Yeah, it's the start of the year, but
yeah.
Why if you're that but concerned and you want to smash these goals, like eat your Christmas dinner and then Boxing Day be going running.
That's it. Get straight back on it. Like why wait for that specific day in the future when you could be doing it now?
Yeah.
It's just
weird though, aren't they? And everyone works differently.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like that's why all these diaries sell. All this whole
whoever makes these things
goal setting, but they're probably making them in January. That's the ironic thing.
Yeah, I can't get my head around it. Like if something bothers you that much, just get on with it.
Yeah. So everyone's been pestering you about what? People have been asking you your goals or been asking you how to achieve their goals? A bit of both.
Bit of both, I would say. But mainly my goals in particular. And I think actually for me, my goal is just to keep doing what I'm doing. Everything is moving in the right direction. So the only thing and the only pressure I'm going to put on myself is just to make sure that the progress keeps moving in that direction.
Yeah. You almost don't stay still.
I've got a personal goal. I'm going to do Mont Blanc this year. We're going to do like an expedition of a few people. I didn't realize at the time, I thought it was like a posh Penavan, but actually it's one of the
quite bigger, isn't it?
the deadliest summits in the world.
Nice. I think I'm busy that day. Let me know the itinerary. So
that's going to be fun. What's nice about that actually is part of the training for it. They're taking it very seriously, which is great. But every month there'll be a weekend blanked out, which is dedicated to training. So I'll be away for a weekend or 3 days, which for me is unheard of. Yeah. So I've got these 3 days a month to look forward to where I'm not going to have a laptop to hand and I'm going to be embracing the outdoors, which is the best medicine.
It'll give you a proper break, but then also it's like coming back to business.
Absolutely.
You know that like everything works around that. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's a personal event.
It complements one another.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know I'm going to come in on the Monday. I'm going to be like the best version of me ever.
Yeah.
That's for instance.
Get your goal calendar out.
No, I know.
He said every week you'll have new goals. So
what about you? What's on the horizon?
I feel for Hollywood and my business, like I've always tried to do it organically. So before I set up Hollywood, I worked for this other company. And ironically, my role was just operations manager. But it got to a point where I was literally running the company. And I learned how not to do so many things. And that's kind of the ethos that I brought into my company. So that's what I was kind of aware of doing and also just conscious of growing organically. So for me, I just want to kind of keep doing what we're doing. I feel as though everything's kind of going well as far as like, if you look at our business journey, we're where we want to be, but we don't want to stop in our tracks at the same time. Personally, I started my house extension, building a double-story extension.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You've only just moved in.
I haven't got the balls to tell the builder I don't have the full balance. But luckily this stage payment, so I might be doing like shifts at Amazon in the night. But that's kind of my personal goal. By Christmas, we're hosting Christmas at our house this year, so that's where I want to be. And business-wise, just keep innovating and kind of keep pushing the boundaries. And I feel we do that with just being honest with people. Whether that's kind of whether we get a job or not, it's kind of people are so refreshed in the conversations we have because they've sat. An example is you might sit there with $5,000 and $5,000 is a lot of money, personal and business. But for what you want for that $5,000, sometimes someone's got to tell you you actually need 10, Whereas a lot of companies will take you £5,000
Sure,
and you'll be stood there with a load of rubbish in front of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of our honest approach.
That's your ethos.
Essentially, yeah, just being honest. And I can't help it. I don't have a filter. I say how it is. A lot of people don't like it.
I think it's very Marmite.
Mm.
I'm quite literal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, including my girlfriend, absolutely hate that.
Yeah. I don't know how to be anything else, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like I could pretend, but then I think if I'm pretending to win a job, do I actually want that job? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
if you can't do it justice,
yeah,
then yeah, you probably.
But then that's the starting point. There's no money exchange. There's no deposit invoices.
Yeah.
So if they're saying, oh, we're stretched at £5,000, then actually you're going back saying, if you want to do it properly, you need 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because everyone doesn't realize the cost of everything's gone up, whereas we're still working to the same margin.
Absolutely. I've had it with with marketing and the photography and the videography side. Is you get given a brief and you get really excited about it, and then you put a proposal together and they go, "Oof, that's a lot of money," and you go, "Oh," and then you're almost then immediately on a back foot, and then you're kind of bartering on price and you're taking away some key elements to what you've built in the proposal, and actually now the vision's gone and. Yeah, you're just
they pick apart it so much it essentially falls down. If you think of it as like a building, and then what do they want? Do you know what I mean? Like you have to get to a point where it's like, if you want to do that on your own, that's fine. But the services you can offer, like if you almost need to just say it's like a £500 package or something. Like if you're doing 10 hours for them, do you know what I mean? Plus kind of the platforms and the software you need to do that. It's like what you need to say is, have you got them 10 hours? Because if you have, you don't need me. Do you know what I mean? I can consult for you, but I'm essentially helping you because you don't have the time for your business, and I can help elevate it.
Yeah, it's so weird with photography in particular. When if you're doing a piece of work for commercial, and you put a price to it, there is so much negotiation that goes into that. But actually, if you put the word wedding before the word photography, then there's an immediate elevation of price there, as there is with anything in that industry.
Because I know what it entails.
Yeah.
You know that it could, like the curveballs they're going to throw into you on the day.
Absolutely. There's no kind of second chance with that. But at the same time, there's this willingness to pay. You know, there's like a key difference between your customers from commercial than there is to wedding, which is more residential, right?
I feel like commercial probably will listen more before he even gets to talking price. It's like, okay, so we've done this previously. This is 700.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, okay, so we've got a marketing girl. She can do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay. And then you can almost agree before you've agreed.
Yeah.
Whereas domestically, everything's like, oh, it's my money. Do you know what I mean? Like money almost, like even for me, building my extension, do you know what I mean? I know the cost of everything. And I'm still stood there being like, walking around my garden, trying to draw out how big it's going to be. And then last night killed me. I had to pay bloody building control for them to come out. And I think it was like £1,005 or something.
What was that, inspection?
Yeah, so like they have to come out and basically tell me that the builder's doing everything right. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But what can you do? Do you know what I mean? They've got hook, line and sinker.
Last thing you want is them having to deconstruct your new extension.
Yeah. You do hear these horror stories, don't you? I think that's what you see so much rubbish. I try not to be on Facebook, but like, you know, like when the local papers report like rubbish stories, someone put gates in front of their drive, didn't get planning permission.
Yeah.
And they tell them to knock them down, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there we are.
So goals set.
That's it. Nothing, well, not extravagantly kind of Mont Blanc for me, but
no, nothing personal other than the extension.
I don't know, just for me, like since I've remodeled the business, I've had a lot more work-life balance, especially with like the kids and family.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a weird one for me because I built the business up, had like 6 guys working for me, massive unit, turning over loads of money. And actually, you're just like running yourself into the ground. Do you know what I mean? Everything's on your shoulders. Doesn't matter how many people you employ.
Absolutely.
You bear everything. Your phone's the one that doesn't stop. And now with the new business model, I'm like being almost like a specialist project management, but having this amazing production underneath us. I've been busy, but I've not been stressed since I made that decision. And it was such a mad decision because you think you want to get bigger, you want to employ more people, you want to do the big numbers and all of this. But actually, like, it's just me. I'm Hollywood, do you know what I mean? So I bear everything.
Yeah.
And now actually I can do everything we did. And ironically more because my time's freed up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worrying, I'm not stressing about stuff.
You're filling the gaps. Right?
Yeah. But we can do a lot more. Yeah, we might not do as bigger numbers. But there's potential to do that because our time's freed up. We can spend more time building new relationships with clients.
It can be a vicious circle. I've fallen into the trap myself of being Monday to Sunday working, blocking out time in the diary, and then actually what you lose is the ability to speak to new prospects and go after new work or do these exciting projects, passion projects that you've got in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the hard thing for me is like you try and you listen to podcasts, you try and do all these things and be like, don't email anyone after 5 o'clock or whatever. But like if I've been out on site with a client all day, I still need to get back to other people.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you use it. I use Outlook. You're an Apple guy, aren't you? So you probably don't know what I'm talking about at this point. But anyway, on Microsoft Outlook. So I've gone to send an email in the evening, and like it comes up now saying like, do you want to send it? Do you want to set it? So it automatically sends at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I just think like all of this it's almost like some of them, I don't think I've ever clicked it, but then actually some of them probably can be like, yeah, it can go at 8 o'clock. But then for me, it's like, I make a decision. I've just got to go with it there and then.
It's a habit, isn't it? And I listened to a book many moons ago. I think it's a Tim Ferriss book. It's like the 4-hour working week. Okay. This is me being as literate as I probably can be.
Okay.
But in the book, they kind of say when engaging in email conversation that you should set a 1-hour time period throughout the day. And then your clients then will start to learn your availability. So then there's no expectation for you to reach them outside of hours, so to speak. You know, and actually, I actually really like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because the amount of WhatsApps I probably get at 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah. How about that, man, though?
That's a separate lesson in itself, isn't it? Using your own phone, though.
I don't want 2 phones.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like I could have done it many moons ago. But then I feel like I'd have two phones kind of, and there'd always be a crossover.
Yeah.
Like if you forgot your work phone, you'd end up sending a personal message on your work phone, or if you forgot your personal phone, you'd end up using your work phone.
Everyone I know with a WhatsApp business account will always message me off their personal regardless.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
I was going to set it up and I was like, I've almost accepted that everyone has my number.
Yeah, it's too late now. We're too far in. We're too invited.
And also it's like, I feel if someone's going to message you, like they're going to message you anyway, or they're going to try and call you anyway. So even if you just don't open the message, like you put it on your list of things to get back to, or as long as you don't open it drunk, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? That's the battle.
People take it so personal there.
Yeah. And also I feel like I talk to you and I talk to my friends, like just how I am, but then the clients want it to be like, hello.
As informal, yeah.
Hello, Adam. Thanks for the message.
Yeah.
Like, has everything got to be...
But that in itself, though, does kind of safeguard you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it puts that barrier there that because it is a working relationship.
Yeah. But then you want them to feel like you can message you?
But you do, yeah. You want to be approachable.
But then you want it to be like I'm just checking where you are, and you literally say, 10 minutes away.
But then you also it gives you flexibility. I agree. But then we talk about work-life balance and it probably mitigates some of that.
Yeah. WhatsApp's a weird and wonderful place, isn't it?
I went to the extreme of buying a burner phone.
Oh, okay.
But I had to stop using it because I was getting work calls on the burner phone on the school playground, and it was worrying the other parents.
Yeah.
So
How big was it? Because like you see, some of them are like...
It was like it was a £10 top-up included.
We'll have to get Dario from Melstick on to talk about his range of burner phones he has.
I'm sure he's seen it all, yeah.
Oh yeah, nightmare. They're so small, aren't they? But yeah, WhatsApp's my electrician puts kisses on the end of his message.
Okay. Is that just through habit or?
Do you know what? I've not questioned it. I just go with it.
Just do it.
I don't know whether kind of like, and again, it comes back to that. I've sent him a message, so if kind of he's just messaged his missus and now he's messaged me, it's like, no worries. It's like, yeah, it's going to be £900 kiss.
I think, yeah, maybe that is a bit of a...
Or maybe it's just a sweeten where he puts kisses on the prices.
Yeah. And you think, oh, what a nice guy.
Yeah. He's just trying to sweeten the fact that electricians are absolutely making loads of money.
He's like cracked the ultimate thing of sales.
Yeah. Just one kiss as well, like not a line of them.
Okay.
Every message though.
Just a little sweetener.
Yeah. Again, I choose to message him, but I get a reply.
Yeah.
Even last night I messaged him about a job.
See, going back 2-3 years ago, if you did that in a group chat, you'd get absolutely rinsed for it. And now I just think it's just acceptable. It's a done thing.
Yeah.
So what's changed?
I don't know what's changed. But communication is easy. And if it's easier for you, then you almost forget about the fact you're messaging someone's personal number.
My guilty pleasure is a voice note these days.
I go through periods.
But it depends on the duration, because I know receiving a voice note over 30 seconds is an absolute nightmare.
I lie in bed at night with my partner Daisy, and her mates are a nightmare, but she knows they're a nightmare. But she listens to the voice note in like times 1.5.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, and I'm like, why don't you just tell him Like, you don't want to listen to it. Do you know what I mean? But she has to listen to the voice note at like fucking 2 times the speed of it. And I'm just sat there being like, you don't want to listen to that. Your mates are trying absolute shit.
Garbage, yeah.
But then you reply, ha ha ha. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
For a 3-minute voice note.
Yeah, 3-minute voice note. But she's still got to listen to it for a minute and a half, regardless of how fast she listens to
Does
it.
she respond?
Yeah, but she won't respond by, she's a bit like me, really. You go through periods. I don't know whether you're the same. I'll have a day. I think it depends what you're doing. I'll have a day and everything will be voice noted.
Yeah.
Even if someone just sends me a message, I'll be like, yeah, no worries, I'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah.
But then other times, like, I'll just send a message. I think it depends what you're doing. But I think it's a great feature because if you've got loads to say, and also I feel like, especially if it's with clients or, I don't know, anything to do with business, just voice and speaking, and it's almost like having a conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will send you a message, and I think it's even like an email. Like, you don't know like whether they're serious, whether they're arsey, whether they're kind of
tone of voice. You can dictate that.
You can be like, hi, yeah, no worries, sorry, we're running late, we're stuck in traffic, or be like, going to be late.
No, it's the same as like almost having a phone call, right?
Yeah, but without having to listen to anything back.
Yeah, and the awkwardness of having to ask them what they did the night before.
Yeah, you can send them all the information you want to do, but then carry on with your day.
Yeah,
and then when they try and ring you, you say, sorry, I'm busy in a message. So that's WhatsApp for you anyway. But I think it's kind of a good first episode.
Yeah,
excited to get our first guest on.
Any ideas who we should get on? Because I would like to get somebody who has some sort of influence online.
Yeah.
Probably someone who has started from nothing and then built their way up.
Yeah. I got a handful of people. I think it's touching base with them and making sure that they want to be involved. I know we've reached out to a couple of people and they're kind of, excited about it. But hopefully we can kind of build this on just having this truthful conversation, having a bit of a laugh at the same time, but ultimately giving an insight into what we've been up to, the highs, the unbearable lows, but also like sharing that conversation. Like when a guest comes in, like we know each other well, we know what we've been up to, we talk on a regular basis, to have almost like someone open up about their business model, about their highs, their lows, because they're going to be doing it completely different because they're a different business.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what's going to keep this exciting and hopefully grow the listeners. Ultimately just be something you can put on in the morning on the way to work and listen to what we've been up to, see what guests we've got on.
Or close the play.
And that's it. I think that's close the play, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
There we are. We will put our online tags on when we've sorted out. And we've got a logo and we've got a page. But there we are. Episode 1. Done.
Done.
See ya.
Either there, is it?
I think that went quite well.